Pro Football Show is powered by the all-electric Chevy Silverado.
Welcome to the Pro Football Show presented by the Chevy Silverado. Check out the first ever all-electric Chevy Silverado. Visit Chevy.com to build your own Chevy Silverado or the Silverado EV. Divisional round of the playoffs, fellas. How we doing? How we doing today? Great. Vibes are good?
Yeah, fired up.
This is the best round because you got, final 8 teams that have a bye, teams that have already won a playoff game. I love this round.
I do too. There's no flukes here. These are 8 good football teams. We're going to see some really good football. I can't wait. Let's go.
We've got Will in his 51 jersey down here. Made some appearances this week. Will, how are you doing?
Doing well. I think to piggyback off them, I think we're going to get blessed with some points this weekend. Last weekend, some games, they were kind of one-sided. The Commanders-Bucks was really the only fun game to watch. A lot of undersitting. I think we're going to get a lot of points this weekend.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
A lot of blowouts last weekend, but it's okay. Still football. And then the records, Will, you went 2-3-1 against the spread. Dan, you went 3-3 against the spread, and then Coach, you went 5-1 straight up. Good for you.
5-1.
I just want to say one game specifically.
Straight up.
Dead right on is the Buffalo Bills.
I picked Buffalo to win.
I know, but you were talking about the Broncos.
It was 13-7, Dan. It was 13-7 midway through the third quarter.
And
4th and 1. Josh Allen makes the greatest play in history.
Well,
some guy named Ty Johnson. He catches it. Other than that, it was a close game.
Did you not know Josh Allen was playing in that game?
I did.
Before?
I did know that. I'm sensitive to Peyton. I love the Broncos.
And also, to be fair, you did say it was a hot take.
Yeah, and
you
also
did say
the Broncos had an incredible season. The arrow's pointing up for them. I think what we found in the wild card weekend is there's levels to this, and there's the Broncos had an incredible season. The Chargers had a great season. Some of these teams, when you're talking about going up against the Bills, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Lions, the Eagles, there's just levels, and those teams are on a different level. And it's not that they didn't have a good season; it's just they're not at that level yet.
But did the Chargers surprise you? Because obviously, them losing to the Texans, that one was you talk about the levels. Losing to the Texans the way they did was crazy.
Yeah, it really shocked me, and it really disappointed me.
Yeah.
And it got my attention. Maybe Houston's a little bit better than what I thought, but I'll say this. I was in there with you guys for 3 days. Mm-hmm. And Compton was in town. Now he's on Zoom. He's such a big timer. These guys have so many parlays, bets. They lose their ass. They lost 38 bets. And they're criticizing me for being 5-1 against the money line. Yeah. Well, isn't it all about winning, Will? Big Cat.
It's true. So I think the moment that Coach Gruden was like, what the hell are these guys talking about, was on Saturday night. Jerry popped up and he's like, oh my God, I'm about to win $70,000. And you're like, what do you need? And he listed 5 more things.
Yeah. I'm
like, no, you aren't.
I know. Jersey Jerry, I had to sit next to him. He was suicidal for the whole 4th quarter. I just couldn't wait
that's how he has this job here.
I was reluctant about coming back. These guys really have a hard time.
You can see it as the streams went on Sunday. Gruden was halfway across the court.
I know. I'll tell you. These guys are very irresponsible. So if you're listening at home, listen to me. Be careful what else you hear.
There's definitely a moment when everybody starts working at Barstool when they realize, what the hell did I sign up for? You had that moment. But before we started, Will mentioned, he was like, Coach gets to go 5-1 straight up, and you're like, yeah, because I'm a winner and you're a loser.
Yeah.
That's
a fact.
That's what
We're losers,
is.
Will.
Well,
big
time. You do got to gamble responsibly because I'm losing my ass on every parlay. Every parlay on Saturday, I'm losing my ass. And Dan just tips me off. He's like, you ever done ladder bets?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what?
Saved you.
We did hit it with we did hit
Derrick Henry. Game flow ladder bets. Just pound the rock.
Game flow ladder.
The Willie playoff parlay losing in the very first leg was just so classic.
Yes.
Just very, very classic.
I know. Chargers that was a very surprising game because they jump out. They jump out on the Texans 6-0, but we're all kind of sitting there like, hey, you want to turn 3 into 7, that should be 14-0. If you're the Texans, the way the ball's not bouncing your way, you played your worst quarter of football, and to be sitting there down 6-0, you're on the sideline thinking, hey guys, we can run up on these boys. And then they go 32 unanswered. That was surprising. Yeah. And Coach Gruden saying it the entire stream, why does Herbert keep trying the boy Stingley out there at cornerback?
I know.
Yeah.
So speaking of the Texans, let's get right into the storyline game of the week presented by the Chevy Silverado. The Texans going to Kansas City. Kansas City minus 8.5. Coach, I'll start with you. So obviously we know what the Chiefs are capable of. What you saw from the Texans last week, do you think that carries over against the Chiefs? Outside, it's cold. They're used to playing indoors. Did we see a different team last week, or do you think this can carry over?
I think the Chiefs are going to win this game handily, personally. Okay. I just think there is a dome aspect to this I don't like, going outside at Arrowhead. We saw these two teams play a month ago, and Kansas City didn't have a lot of problems with the Houston Texans. Andy Reid coming off a bye, Big Cat. Yep. He's 29-3 all time. Mahomes is healthy. Remember, he had the ankle. Pacheco's healthy. Chris Jones hasn't played since week 15. They have Marquise Brown back. They have a full contingent of wideouts and 2 weeks to prepare. God help anybody that's walking in there. I don't care if it's the 75 Steelers. Yeah. Chiefs are going to roll and show who they really are, I think, in this game.
Yeah. I know Will is going to take the Texans because he's an idiot, but let's not do that.
He hates the Chiefs. He hates the Chiefs.
He does hate the Chiefs, but let's not do that because here's the thing with the Chiefs. You said it perfectly. They're getting healthy, Pacheco being back. The last time we saw the Chiefs playing their number ones, Patrick Mahomes completed a pass to 8 different guys. Like Juju Smith-Schuster is back with the Chiefs. You got DeAndre Hopkins has had some, time to work with Patrick Mahomes. Hollywood Brown, like Xavier Worthy, you've seen his catch share go up and up and up, and they've started working him in. And this is also when Travis Kelce turns it on.
Yes,
like this is when Travis Kelce, if the Chiefs get into, this is why the Chiefs are the Chiefs. If they get into a 3rd and 5 or less, it's automatic. It's either Patrick Mahomes' legs or finding Travis Kelce. And the big thing with the Chiefs' defense is their stud cornerback, Jalen Watson, is going to be back. And that helps a vulnerable spot for their defense. Don't overthink it. Great season from the Texans. Great playoff win. There's a reason why the Chiefs had the bye. They're much better.
That's the best performance I've heard from
Here we go.
In my career at Barstool. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. I'm 100%.
Also, I'll just throw this in there because, again, I want Dodo Brain to say that he's going to take the Texans. Patrick Mahomes in the divisional round, 6-0, 1,813 total yards, 16 total touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 70% completion percentage. That is not only Patrick Mahomes being great, but when you get, like I said, with levels, the divisional round, the Chiefs are always at a different level than whoever's coming into Arrowhead.
This is one of those, you don't get rich betting against the Chiefs in the divisional round.
It's going to be, the Chiefs are the Chiefs.
Yeah, last thing I'll say about Mahomes. I've gone up against him. I've seen him on the other sideline. He has a state of rage about him that you would appreciate.
Yeah,
He is. I know this for a fact. He is pissed off he didn't make the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
I take this team to 15-1. You tell me I'm not in the Pro Bowl? Let me show you what I got. I guarantee you he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got plenty of time to prepare. Look out, Houston. Houston, we have a problem, Will.
All right,
Will, are you taking the Houston Texans?
I'm taking a lot of unnecessary shots right now, and if we've learned anything this last week, it's that you can flip your fandom and be okay with it. I'm going with the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs this week. I think if I could talk about the Texans and the shot that they might have, obviously they've lost Tank Dell. They've lost a lot of weapons. Joe Mixon's going to have to get involved with the pass game along with running the football like he does very well. And then also the D-line. Autry, Will Anderson, and Daniel Hunter, they're going to have to get after these tackles' asses because these tackles aren't as good as what they just faced this past week with Slater and Alt. You got Joe Tooney. He's a good player. They're moving him out there. And then Jawan Taylor, they're really going to have to get after the right side if they want to have a shot to stay in this game. But I do feel like it is the Chiefs. I feel like they handle this easy. The great thing about this weekend with all the outdoor games is that it's all going to be freezing cold weathers. I think the Chiefs are going to thrive. And even though the starters haven't played in 24 days, Andy Reid, he keeps them on schedule very well. I see them handling this game. I see them covering. I see them handling this game. And I see them really – you want to get to who knows who's going to come out of the Bills, Ravens. But if you get a nice Chiefs – I'm going to say Ravens because I'm taking Ravens, and then we'll get to the NFC. You could have the 4 best teams sitting there at a conference championship weekend. I think we're going to have that.
That's growth, Will. That's growth. Because you are a Chiefs hater, but you recognize this situation. Yeah.
And yesterday around noon, I had in my brain that I was going to be Texans over the Chiefs 27-24. But the more we kept talking about it, I'm like, Chiefs are going to whip this team. The Houston's been too inconsistent all year. They're going to walk into this. Chiefs are ready to go. Spags is going to have that defense rolling. I think they're going to kill him.
That was going to be my next question is when did he decide to do that? Because he went into this week thinking he was going to take the Texans.
Well, that's what I did too. I did the same thing where I was like, ooh, I love the Texans, 8.5. It's like, no, it's the Chiefs. And what they do time and time again.
Big Cat, your tweet, what was it yesterday? You had a tweet of like, fuck myself and the Texans, but we all know that the Chiefs are going to win by 2 scores comfortably or something like that.
Right. That's exactly what we all have gone
100%.
through. Just take the Chiefs.
100%.
Let's go to the playbook pick of the week presented by DraftKings. There's only a few weeks left of football, but we are in the thick of the best time on the football calendar with the playoffs happening right now in college and the NFL as well. Get in on the action right now with our partner at DraftKings. $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. New customers use our promo code PRO, bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Okay, the Commanders at the Lions. Dan, the Lions minus 8.5. We obviously know the Lions had the bye week. The Commanders get the 3-point win over the Buccaneers. Who are you taking?
I'm passing to Will.
Oh. Is Will going to pass too?
I like the Lions. No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to pass. I like the Lions. These are 2 of the most efficient offenses in the league. The Lions haven't scored less than 20 all season. They've put up 30 plus 10 different times this year. They both these teams go for it on 4th down. It's kind of surprising to see that the Commanders are more successful than the Lions because we know how good the Lions are on 4th down. But I think it's the Lions. I think you look at every position group. The only arguable position where it's like it could be a toss-up is between Jared Goff and Jane Daniels on who's going to play better. But everywhere else across the board, the Lions have way more talent. They're much hungrier. Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn possibly even for head coaching jobs. Like this is so all in for the Lions and playing at Detroit. I think they have too much, and I think their entire game plan is going to be, hey, you attack the head, the body will follow. If you can keep Jane Daniels at bay, which is a tall task, but you know, Coach Gruden, in that defensive room, anytime he runs the ball, anytime he's got his hands on that football, you put a lick on him because we want to make this a physical game because it's going to be all about Jane Daniels. If the Lions lack a little bit with Goff, they have so many different ways to beat you. I like the Lions. They're getting Anzalone back. I think the defense is going to be hungry for this challenge. I like the Lions.
Coach?
I like the Lions to win. I think it's going to be a heck of a game. I am so impressed with Jaden Daniels. I can't tell you. I mean, this guy's scary. I guarantee you the Lions are sitting there. I remember doing this, watching a playoff game to see who we play. All the Lions staff and players deep down, they're rooting for Tampa Bay to win.
Right.
They did not want to see number 5 roll into Detroit. He's the equalizer. Yeah. You can have the perfect defense, the perfect coverage, and he beats your ass anyway.
Yeah.
And they're going to give him 4 downs to do it. They know they're playing with house money. McLaurin's a big-time receiver. And their defense, Big Cat, they're playing way over their head.
Yeah, they are.
I look at their defense. They got championship character with Bobby Wagner. You know that, Will Compton. Frankie Louvu, they're playing over their head. I like them to keep this game close. I think it's going to be high scoring. I still think all the injuries that Detroit has on defense will eventually catch up with them. It's not going to get them a loss this week, but it's going to keep this game real close.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this game because I think the Lions, obviously the Lions are better, and I do think that this is a good matchup. The Commanders play a lot of man-to-man. Jared Goff just eats that alive. He's by far the best quarterback in that setup. They have so many weapons. I just keep going back to Jaden Daniels and just how special he is. Yeah. And Aaron Glenn, and I know this because, you know, obviously the Bears play the Lions twice a year and Justin Fields was the quarterback for the last couple of years. Like, he does struggle a little, his defense, with running quarterbacks. And that has been kind of an Achilles heel for them where a guy can make plays with his feet, especially in those 3rd, 4th down situations. Jerry, what do you got?
Yeah, I was about to. Commanders.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking the Commanders in the points. I'm taking the Commanders in the points.
I got to get behind PFT.
I'm taking the Commanders.
No,
that doesn't help.
That's the point.
That's not a football argument. You're saying you got to get behind PFT.
Well, no, there's a couple reasons why I like them. I think Gruden's right and you're right. I think Jaden Daniels is the X factor. I think he's going to beat them a lot with his legs. I don't like how the Commanders are in the red zone, but Detroit's defense isn't that great. They're really not. They're banged up. I think it's a close game. I think the Lions are going to win, but that's too many points. I think it's too many points, yeah.
So, Dan, you're taking that too?
I'm going to take.
We ended up going. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was going to say, to Jerry's point, too, like we got in the foxhole with Jerry last week with the Steelers. Sometimes you just got to ride.
You didn't get in the foxhole.
Like,
you bet Derrick Henry rushing yards.
Yeah, because the game was over and you couldn't stop the run, dude.
That's not the
This
foxhole.
is what I got to deal with. Take the money line and the Lions and win. That's what we do here.
Yes.
Jerry's trying to shame us for making money, Will. Like, the guy Derrick Henry's going to run for. He'd still be running if they were playing that game. I am going to take the Commanders plus 8.5. I think that I'm with Coach Gruden that I think the Lions are going to win this game. But Jaden Daniels does have that special magic that I think this team believes, and they'll give them a fight. They'll give them a fight. And I also love this game because I think both teams are just going to go for it on fourth down the entire time.
I tell you what, though,
It's gonna be fun.
you know this, Will Compton. You're in that meeting the night before the game, and not only do we have Jaden Daniels, you look over there, and there is Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
13 years in a row he's had over 100 tackles. Over here sitting Zach Ertz.
Yeah.
He's one of the premier pass receiving tight ends. Then you look over here, is Austin Eckler. Try covering him on a choice route out of the backfield.
Right.
And they have McLaurin. They got some veteran guys that are not going to back down to anybody, and I think they're scary here.
Yeah.
You were mentioning what you have to deal with. There were multiple times during the Steelers game I was watching the stream that you gave Jerry looks like, I don't know where I am right now. That was quite a scene.
That happened.
I didn't know if I should give Jerry a hug. He needed a Snickers bar. You ever seen the Snickers commercial?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he needs.
Yes. All right, let's go to the Fireball Rapid Fire game of the week. This segment is presented by Fireball Whiskey. Of course, it's going to be very cold in Philadelphia. It's going to be snowing. So there's nothing better than to warm up with Fireball. Dan, why don't you, it's warmer today in Chicago, but it's about to be
40
like
degrees.
It's going to be like 7 degrees next week, thanks to Fireball. And Fireball Whiskey is here to give you the spark to ignite that rivalry all season long. Grab your football buddy, buy around, reignite the rivalry flame. Okay, the Rams at the Eagles. Eagles -6. Will, I will start with you. Rams getting a win over the Vikings last week. Eagles getting a win over the Packers. Who are you taking?
I think it's you watch the way that the Rams played last week. Their passing offense kept them alive offensively, and then on defense, you have 9 sacks from 6 different players. Like this young crew that we've talked about the back half of the year with Fish, Turner, Young, and Verse. I think they have a big task if they want to keep the Rams in the game. But going out to Philadelphia in the cold, you're looking at a wintry mix. It might be rain, it might be snow. Stafford is 2-4 in January. He's 1-6 in the rain. I think the Eagles have a lot. They have the number 1 pass defense in the game. And I like the Eagles. I don't know how you're going to stop Saquon Barkley all game. And then if you stack the box, like if you make it easy for him to dish it out to Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, I think they have too many weapons, and I think this is where the Rams come up short, so I'm going to take the Eagles.
Coach, where do you land?
That's well said. I really want to take the Rams. The McVay-Stafford World Championship combination. Their offensive line is finally healthy. Havenstein's back at right tackle. Avila's back at left guard. They were hurt all year. Their receivers are all playing together for the first time. I mean, you see Higbee last week, he looked good. Nakua, Kupp, Kyron Williams are all playing together. And their defense is emerging. They've given up 10 points or less these last 4 games since Saquon ripped them for 255 yards. The Rams are playing really good. It is in Philly. The outdoor aspect of this bothers me with the Rams. I'm going to take the Eagles in a low-scoring, ugly win. But I do like the Rams. They've made a lot of progress this last month, and they are dangerous just like Washington.
Yeah. So I'm going to Eagles as well. I think this game comes down to the fact that as good as the Rams' defensive line is, they're a little lighter, and that offensive line for the Eagles are going to lean on them. Yeah. And those big chunk plays that Saquon gets are going to be open later on in the game. And it's the Eagles' defense too. Like that defense, I know they lost Nakobe Dean, that's significant. But Vic Fangio, he's such a good coach, and he's played Sean McVay's offenses, twice. I was looking back; it was twice. It was the 2018 season when the Rams came to Chicago, and he completely shut them down. And then this year, the Eagles were able to run the ball, control the game, and limit the Rams' offense. I think it's the defense. I think it's the running game. And I look back at that game last week with the Eagles and Packers, and I was disappointed that the Eagles' game plan it looked like they were stuck in mud. But part of it is a team like that, with that defense and that running game, when they get out 10-0 like that, they're gonna change how they play. They're gonna try to shorten the game. Yep. They're not gonna do as many explosives. So I'm saying that was more of a, hey, the game script allowed them to just play a little bit more vanilla. This week they're gonna open it up a little bit more, and you're gonna see some more explosives.
I got to be honest, Big Cat. I was watching the Eagles offense. I was in my office, and my wife came in and she said, "Are you all right? You have appendicitis or something?" I was going, "Oh!" And I go, "Damn!" Damn. She goes, what? I said, you ought to see Dickerson, the left guard, on the second level.
Yeah.
Plaster one of these linebackers.
Such a football guy.
Mekhi Becton on the second level. I mean, he decapitated. A guy's head fell off. The Eagles' offensive line, they will maul you and destroy you. They got 3 Pro Bowlers, and their left tackle's the best in the league. He's not even one of them.
Yeah.
They are awesome up front, and they're well coached. God help anybody that's got to line up across from those guys.
And you know it must have been something because your wife's probably used to you reacting that way to football, and even she was alarmed.
Usually I'm screaming at our film.
Yeah.
You're like, what are we doing? God, we're bad.
And the build on that earlier in the year when they beat him 37-10, like it's closer to halftime. And to Big Cat's point, like that physical offensive line of the Eagles, they just leaned on him in that second half and ran away with it.
Yeah. They got some dudes up front. Some dudes.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Dudes. All right, Jerry's Picking Zoo, presented by Stella Blue Coffee. The best part of January is if you sign up for the Stella Blue Coffee subscription before January 31st, you'll get 20% off your first 4 orders, free shipping, and a chance to win one of the 10 Ninja Dual Brew Pro Coffee systems. Of course, Dan, you've got the whole beans, the K-Cups, the cold brew. You've got it all. Go subscribe today at StellaBlueCoffee.com to save dogs and dollars all year long. So Jerry, Ruffles is back, huh?
Yeah, superstar. Love her. Want to know.
Want to know. So we've
Wait,
got
Ruffles won last week?
Yeah, Ravens.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Ravens at the Bills. Let's see what Ruffles picks this week.
All right, Pro Football Show, Jerry's Picking Zoo. We got Buffalo against Baltimore. Buffalo, the home dog here, +1.5. I've been at this with Ruffles probably about an hour now. Just refusing to treat. Ruffles, come on, get a cookie. Come on. There she is over there. You see her? Scared of treats. I apologize, but I regret doing this, but we're about 50 takes in, and it just doesn't want to treat, hates treats. So I'll do the treat. Buffalo or Baltimore? Which one? Get a cookie. Get a cookie. Here, Buffalo. Ruffles, come here. Have a cookie. Here. You licked it already. Ruffles, come on. Ugh, God, I can't believe I'm about to do this.
No, you're not. No, you're not. What are you doing, Jerry?
Buffalo.
Oh, my gosh.
What is wrong with you? So that made you think you needed to eat it?
I was trying to give the fans what they want. They like
so
to
good.
the treats.
That was so
I
good.
believe you work here?
No, that's a summary of what I deal with, what I'm discovering.
Me too. Me too. Okay, so Coach, the Ravens at the Bills. Are you rolling with Jerry?
This game has taken a lot of my week. I've really enjoyed preparing for this one. 2 of the great quarterbacks. I think whoever wins this game should be the MVP, Lamar or Josh. Let's summarize it that way. But I'm going to take Buffalo because they're playing at home. It's going to be 12 degrees, -2 wind chill factor, and I have seen Josh Allen throw it behind his back left-handed. The cold weather doesn't bother him one bit. The ball distribution in Buffalo is incredible.
Yep.
They can throw it to 10 different receivers.
Yep.
They can hand it to 3 different backs. Their offensive line is damn good. And defensively, I just think after Baltimore drilled them the first time, they didn't have Matt Milano, they didn't have Bernard, they didn't have Teron Johnson, and now they're at home and they're watching that tape all week, and they're going, Derrick Henry ripped us for 90 yards on the first play. We didn't crack and replace. Rasul Douglas, you didn't make that tackle. And I know they're just like, I'm going to get them this time.
Yeah.
So I think Buffalo's going to raise the bar about 16 levels. The crowd is going to be insane.
Yep.
And we all know Lamar needs this, I think, to turn the corner. And there's a lot of pressure on these Ravens to win the Super Bowl with their MVP, Lamar Jackson. I think Buffalo's going to win a tight game here.
Yeah, and Coach, I mean, you mentioned it. Derrick Henry had his best performance of the season last time. They played almost 200 yards on 24 carries, Dan. He said the defense is going to want to remember that.
He was awesome. But what Coach said, and I had this written down as well, Matt Milano, Johnson, Bernard. Those guys are very key. That's a linebacker and 2 cornerbacks. They're very key to the run game and stopping the run game. I think that will be a difference than what you see. I also think Sean McDermott is in that level of defensive coaches that he will have a wrinkle or two. He's going to throw something at the Ravens that will confuse Lamar, that will slow down that offense a little, especially without Zay Flowers. Looks like he's not going to play. And that's really what it comes down to. With a game with these two teams, if you can steal one possession, that could be the ball game. You know, if you throw something at them that they don't expect, that could be the ball game. I also want to say one quick thing about the Ravens defense, which has turned a corner and has been incredible the last, 6-7 weeks of the season. The last 5 weeks of the season, the teams they played, the Cleveland Browns, 32nd in offensive DVOA. The Houston Texans, 26th in offensive DVOA. The Pittsburgh Steelers, 19th in offensive DVOA. The Giants, 28th in offensive DVOA. The Eagles, who they lost to, 13th. My point is this. They have obviously turned some things around, putting Kyle Hamilton in the back. But they have not been tested like the Buffalo Bills offense will test them. And that's really the difference. Like that, the Bills offense, like you said, they got so many options. And Josh Allen, they got so many guys they can throw to, so many guys they can run to, and then if all else fails, Josh Allen can just be Superman. So I'm going to take the Bills as well at home, plus 1.5.
Will?
I honestly feel like you guys just talked me into the Bills, but I'm sticking with the Ravens. You guys alluded to him earlier, but having Milano back, he's the olive oil that sets the dish. He runs around on defense. He's a leader. I love watching him play. In my mind, I feel like this is a legacy game for Lamar Jackson. He gets put in this position year after year, and he needs to turn the corner. And having Derrick Henry and having that run game, which opens it up with their tight ends, Likely and Andrews, the Bills bringing Anthony Brown off the street to kind of mimic Lamar Jackson in practice this week. He's such an explosive player, and if Lamar is on any bit of his game, I think the Ravens win this game because they have the run game with Derrick Henry. They have the defense, even though you do bring up an incredible stat there, Big Cat, with the types of offenses that they played as of late. But it does build the confidence in that room, no matter what offense is getting rolled out there in the NFL, to where, you hope they keep some type of that success against Josh Allen because he is Superman. But I'm going to stick with the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
Good speech.
Yes.
Good
I'm excited for this game.
Yeah, this game is awesome.
This game is
this
great.
one's amazing. How about Deontay Johnson getting signed by the Ravens?
I know.
For the compensatory pick. Have you seen that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. How many teams is he on this year?
4.
Well, Texans cut him last week because he was crying after the game, and the Texans won. So they shipped him out of there. Ravens sign him. He's not even practicing or nothing because they're basically using him as a business asset to get a compensatory pick.
Yeah. Crazy.
One really cool thing to look for in this game is I watch Buffalo play defense. They play a nickel defense on first and second down 90% of the time. They don't care what you put out there. Mm-hmm. That's uncommon. You got 5 little guys out there.
Yep.
Now, when Derrick Henry walks out there, let me tell you something. Will, you played against him. This guy's 265 pounds. You don't want a bunch of little guys out there.
Right.
So does Buffalo play a base defense, take one of those DBs out, and play a defense we haven't played all year?
Right.
So we can get another linebacker out there to hold up against Derrick Henry. The other thing is the Ravens have committed 132 penalties.
Yep.
That's kind of like you and Jerry watching games. You guys are out of bounds.
Yep.
And when you hear this, I joined the Bills Mafia. I got a shirt. They sent it to me, Gruden on the back. I am all aboard the Bills. This crowd is loud, man.
Yeah.
They can distract you. They can force penalties, and the Ravens got to be really careful. 132 penalties, Big Cat.
Yep.
That's a lot of penalties.
That's a lot of penalties.
And on the road, that doesn't travel very well.
Yeah, that's the difference between this game when the teams are this close.
Have you guys ever heard the thing they say in Buffalo? What? How do they do it, Jerry? You've seen it. Let's go, Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go, Buffalo. Let's do that.
Go, Buffalo.
During the game, I'm going to be cheering with you guys. I'm going to drive you guys out of your freaking mind.
Yeah.
Would you ever let them put you through a table in Buffalo?
Oh, I would not. I've already got a new hip.
Okay.
And a bad elbow. I'm done.
So you're part of the Bills Mafia, but not go through a table part. Fair enough.
I'm not like that.
They're built different in Buffalo. All right, Dan, hot takes for divisional round. You got one?
Do I have a hot take? Yeah, you know what? A.J. Brown, 100 yards and a touchdown after the whole book controversy. I think he's a little injured, but I think this is kind of how A.J. Brown goes, where it's like there's a little minor controversy, then he plays well, and then it happens again. I think we're back in the swing of he's going to have a big game against the Rams.
Will, have you read that book that he was reading? That seems like a book you would read.
No, I haven't read it. I have not read that book. I thought it was funny that he's pulling it out, mid-game and everything else. I'm sure it's a great book, and I'm sure it's great for his mental and everything else, but I had a nice little chuckle when I saw him just sitting on the sideline reading a book in the middle of a game.
Yeah, as a coach, what do you think?
Coach, you wouldn't be letting that fly.
Yeah.
What if somebody tapped you? Hey, there's a book on the sideline.
Well, I was
however it is your best receiver.
I was very critical of that on Shred Radio last week, but I might start reading that book myself. He had one catch. AJ had one catch during the game. Let's be honest. He's probably not real happy they're not throwing the ball. So whatever you need to do, self-help videos or books, whatever. I really don't care anymore.
Speaking of, Dan, have you started reading your books yet?
I have not. I still got to pick one. Will, you need to pick one for me.
Hey, long year.
Yeah, long year. A lot of days left. A lot of days left in the year.
Yeah, a lot of days left. Yeah.
Coach, you got a hot take?
My hot take is the LA Rams. I'm going to go back to that game last week against Minnesota. They're playing for more than just a playoff win. They're playing for the city of Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Did you feel that?
Yes.
That was emotional, man.
Yeah, the way they came out.
It galvanized them.
Yep.
We talked about it last week. They kicked Minnesota's ass.
They did.
They were playing for the city of LA. I think my hot take is the Rams. Matt Stafford shreds the Eagles' #1 defense.
Ooh.
They got the receivers to do it. Higbee is back. They can run it. I'm telling you, McVay is a sharp cat, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that as my hot take. The Rams go to Philly and shock the Eagles, kind of like Rocky Balboa did years ago.
Love
How
it.
about that?
Love it. Will, can you follow that up?
No, I cannot follow that up. I think mine is just Travis Kelce comes alive. He's obviously playoff Travis for a reason. I got him catching a couple touchdowns. I think the Chiefs absolutely handle the Texans. And kind of to go off what you were saying about who is the team that's the Baltimore Ravens being very penalized going into Buffalo. The Texans are the same way going into Kansas City. It's going to be rocking. I think the Chiefs blow out the Texans, and Travis Kelce has two touchdowns.
Okay.
All right, so Dan, you won last week, the Survivor Pool pick. So right now, Will and Dan are tied at 2. Jerry, you have 1 point. Mm-hmm. So how are you?
I mean, Jerry's got to win, and we got to both lose.
Yeah,
for the,
Jerry, you have to win this week.
Yep.
You
You
have
want me
to
to go
win.
first, Dan?
Yeah, so
No, I'll go first.
Oh, okay.
I'll go first.
No, I'll go first.
I'll go first, though. I know, but I'll go first.
I won. I'll go first. All right. I'm going to take the Chiefs -8.5.
Okay. Jerry?
I'll go Bills.
Bills? And then Will?
I will go. I'll go Ravens.
Okay, so something will happen.
Something will happen.
Shake out here.
Yeah, something will happen. Jerry has to win in order to stay alive for the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay, anything else for the divisional round?
No, pumped for football.
I can't wait.
So fucking pumped for football. Hey, let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. All right, we'll see you guys next week.